What's up, everybody? We'll be starting soon. I'll be just getting some stuff ready. We got Mike Disney in the house. So, Mike, if you keep telling people when they come on, just to chat in the chat bar where they're from and who they are, and help them get their camera on there. And I will make sure that you are a co-admin here or something, Mike.
All right, cool.
You have
if everybody just looks at the screen down on the bottom left, there'll be a thing that says stop video, start video. Just click on that so we can see everybody, and we'll take it from there. So as you come on, if you guys in the chat bar could just say where you're from, that'd be awesome. What's up, Keith? How's it going? Looks like we got some more people joining on. If you guys want to, we're going to be starting up in about 5 minutes. If you look down on the left corner, there is a video portion. You guys can just click on that so we can see everybody. It'll be helpful as we navigate through the webinar today. Master Advisor Denise has joined the group.
Hi, everyone.
And then as you guys jump on, if you would like to just post where you guys are from so we all get a good feel of who we got on the call. And as we go through, that'll be helpful for us to know who we're talking with.
Awesome. All of you that are jumping on, where are you from? What do you do? Type it in there, everybody. If you're driving, do not type why you are driving. That is dangerous. But if you're not driving, then type it in there. Where you're from, what you do. Be sure to turn on, there's a little button to turn on your screen. You don't have to be shy, I promise. We're not going to make fun of how you look. As long as you don't make fun of me and my tattoos, we'll all get along just fine together today. There's a function on the bottom there that says start video. So just crank it on, just turn on the video. That is good. This way, it's like we're in the same room together, like we could see each other, communicate with each other, and make lots of money. Now, if you don't want to make more money and profit, you should leave. Leave if you don't want more money and profit, okay? If you want money and profit, stay and hang out with us, okay?
Got a bunch of people from Canada on board today. 3 different people so far.
Big shout out to Canada. We have a lot of Canadians that come to our event. We have Canadians in our Warrior group.
Yep.
Lindsay, who works with me, and my copywriter is Canadian. We're in a whole world of Canadians and Australians. Hey, Tammy, what's up? John, what's up? Nice for joining us, brother. Thanks for coming on. Lori, where you at? Mike's in the house. Nice to see everybody. Those of you that have your cameras off, turn them on. Let us see who you are, what you do, where you're from. What's up, Marion? Nice to see you join us today. Dean, what's up? Nice to see everybody. I don't have a camera. Well, then you can't turn it on. Well, just imagine, Robert, what you look like today. Okay, that's all. We'll leave it up to our imagination. All right, we're going to start in a minute. Let's get our minds in the game. Have a pen and paper. Let's start it with a little bit of music here to get the game going. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Get your pen and paper ready, everybody. What's up, Travis?
Doing it from the truck. Doing it from the truck.
Mike Disney. Josh Meckham with a 5. Hit him up real quick. Mute yourself.
Come on, Mike.
All right, turn on your camera, everybody. Turn on your camera. Go in, type in who you are, where you're from, what you do. Make some profit today. Piscatelli, what's up, brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
On this. You guys are lucky. We got legends in the house.
Well,
A lot
I
of
don't know
really
about
cool
that.
people on this call, on this training today. I love seeing all you guys. Industry shapeshifters, changers. Carl, what's up, brother? All right, make sure you got pen and paper. Pen and paper, something to type on, everybody. Make sure you got something to type on. Now we got painters, plumbers. We got all kinds of stuff going on here today. All right, you should be ready now. All right, boom, let's do it, everybody. Are you ready? If you're ready, type something in the chat bar. Type a big old boom over there. Let me know you are ready to make some profit today, make some more money, grow your company. We're going to stay engaged with each other, okay? So as all of you see or may not see, because I could see a lot of you here, you want to be able to communicate with me. Joel, what's up, brother? You want to be able to communicate through the chat bar. I have some guests on there. Mike Disney's just helping a quick, what we call level 5 with one of our clients. And I have another one of my master advisors in the house, Denise. What's up? Say hi, Denise.
Hi, everyone.
Denise, you know what? I thought before we even get started, why don't you tell all these really nice, badass business builders a little bit about how long you've been with CEO Warrior, what you do, what you've done, who you are, so they know who's on the call here today.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to be here. I've been with CEO Warrior since January. However, I was born and raised in this industry. My dad was an HVAC technician, so I've been around the trades and the home services industry basically all my life. I remember being in a truck when I was a kid running calls with my dad. After I got married, I went to work in my father's business and actually wound up buying into that business. We grew the business. We sold it to in the first round of consolidation, we sold it to a publicly traded company. I worked for them for many years. I held a lot of different positions with them. I was a general manager. I was a regional sales manager in Florida for $55 million worth of revenue and 35 comfort advisors on a daily basis. Then I had the opportunity to go to work for another organization where I served as a training director for them, and I taught frontline communications and leadership and management skills to owners, to technicians, to CSRs, to basically every position in the company. After I did that, I became a vice president of franchise operations for that same company and stayed on with them till they sold it to a utility company. Then I went to work for another organization, which is how I met Mike. I was actually his coach for a while. And then our paths connected again through social media recently, and I joined the team in January, and so blessed and thankful to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you here too. Denise is one of our master advisors. Denise is a master advisor. Mike Disney, who was one of my directors at Gold Medal. Mike, you're back with us. You good?
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we're done.
All right, cool. Why don't you, Mike, tell everybody a little bit how long you've been with me, what you've done in your past, what you do today here at CEO Warrior. Give the world a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I've been with Mike and Rob. I've been working for Mike and Rob for about a little over 5 years now, about 5 years and a month about. I originally knew Mike and Rob through doing work for them. I had a business in central New Jersey where I did work in the automotive industry, and I worked on some of their vehicles and developed a relationship through them. Came to work for those guys, started out running their retail relationships. We did work with Costco and Lowe's over at Gold Medal Service. I kind of headed that all up. There was a real need for focus on that, and that was my position when I initially got hired at Gold Medal Service. My last position at Gold Medal Service was the director of sales, running about 19 million of the 32 million in revenue, handling all the salesmen in the home, as well as all the install functions off of that, as well as outbound department, plus all the retail relationships and maintaining that. So we're super fortunate to have Denise join the team in the last year, have another master advisor coming on board this next week. So we're super excited about the growth. Our team couldn't be any better than it is right now, and we always strive to get better. So it's really, you guys will witness that today on the webinar for sure.
Awesome. Well, I am glad to have Denise and Mike on here. As I'm delivering information and value, I'm going to be bringing Denise and Mike Disney on to share their insights because, you know, Mike managed well over 50, if not $60 million alone over the last bunch of career years with me at Gold Medal Service. And just in case some of you are new in the world, like, here's who I am, right? This is me. This is my life. That's me over there on the back of the truck, and my business partner, Rob Zadati, on there. And for some of you that may not have been in the world, you know, we started this company, Gold Medal Electrical Contracting, Inc., 24 years ago. And for the first 10, 11, 12 years, I'll tell you, we had a blast. We worked our ass off, but it was, you know, over time, when you don't figure it out, life can get challenging and a little daunting. This is what most people know me of today, is right here. Boom. This is, at that time, that was about half of our fleet and not even all our employees. We did just exit our company a year ago. We grew the company to $32 million. I did over $200 million in the last 10 years. And we exited and we sold to a $40 billion company that purchased us out. We sold it for one of the greatest wins in the universe, as far as I know, probably the highest EBITDA in the last 100 years. So I've learned how to grow, how to become extremely profitable, how to help other people do it. This is what my life is today. And I always tell people, like, the difference between me and a lot of other people is I do this right now because I want to, not because I have to. You could imagine selling a $32 million business. My partner and I have done really, really well for ourselves. We're set for the next 10 generations. We'll be long gone and our families will still be set. But the thing is that I wanted to do, so you can know where this framework of information comes from, is I want to change not only the planet, I want to change the way business is done forever. I want to change the whole service industry, the way we think, the way we do things, the way we behave, the way we stay married, the way we treat our children, the way we take care of our health, and the way we make wealth. So this is part of my life now. This is from our last event. This is a whole bunch of our badass clients that we help out, and I pretty much bleed for them every day. So those of you that are on here, I want you to know I'm honored to deliver. This is completely free for you guys to be on here today, and I want to make sure you get massive, massive value. At the end of the day, look, I'm a guy, right? I'm just a guy's guy. Like a lot of you guys on here, that's me, right? I'm in a ditch there. I know what it's like to eat dirt, smell cat piss, get insulation in your eye, and beg to just get an hour worth of sleep. And so I know this like you guys, and this is why I'm so honored to serve you today. So some of you are in the field. We talk to guys that are on our trainings. They're on the rooftop, and I get it. When it's hot and it's humid, and the thing that you dread most, right, is that 5 o'clock call from your wife. My beautiful wife just walked in a second ago here, and me, getting that what time you think you're going to be home, and then my wife just slapped her ass. That's a good marriage, just so you know. Thank you for that. And then you become a professional liar, right? You're like, soon. Anybody type in if you ever said this, like you get that. Back then it used to be the beeper for me. When you coming home? And I'm like, oh, yeah, pretty soon. Have you ever done that? Type in the chat bar if you've done that. What time does pretty soon translate into, everybody? Tell me what time pretty soon is. Because for me, well, I used to think it's about 7 o'clock at night, but pretty soon ended up being about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You guys get it. It's the grind, right? You're just trying to survive. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before we get started here. Yeah, you guys know I built my business. I'm an extremely focused and disciplined individual. This is my incredibly strong of a son in a ninja outfit. This is probably, man, I don't even know. This is probably 6 years ago. 6 years ago, and that's me in my training uniform. I'm an 8th degree black belt. I've been training for over 34 years, and everything from Daichi-Ryu Aiki Jiu-Jitsu to Shorin-Ryu Karate to Okino and weaponry to Taruwaza Kenjutsu. So I could swing a katana blade pretty much better than most humans today. So that gives you a little bit about my focus and discipline to serve you guys today. And I've been around, look, some of the baddest individuals on the planet, right? This is Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. I was around him. This is, I don't know, maybe this is, as you get older, I'm 48 years old now. Time gets really distorted. So I know it's at least 4 or 5 months ago, but it might be 8 months ago. So don't hold me to time. But Kevin O'Leary, my partner, myself, and about 7 other people spent time with him in a one-day consult. I'll tell you, the way he is on TV is the way he is in real life. That cost over, $100,000 to pretty much get him for about 6 hours time. I don't know. I got some cool things I'm going to share with you that gave me some framework on profit because, we were 32 million in double-digit profit, which there's very few companies over 30 million at double-digit. So I'll share a little bit of insight that I learned from Kevin O'Leary. But the coolest thing is hearing from a guy of his stature to tell Rob and I, you guys are the real deal. You do it and you constantly do it over again. The reason I say this, it's not to brag about me, guys. This is just to give you a framework of where a lot of this information is coming from. And I'm so honored you're investing your time because it's the one thing that, you get 24 hours deposit and you don't get back. I'm also going to share with you some of the insights that I learned from Jay Abraham. Now, Jay Abraham has been my one-on-one private coach for the last 6-8 months. I know him for a bunch of years. We became really close friends. And now he's my one-on-one coach for the next 24 months because I made a bigger commitment. So I want you to know when a lot of people step up into my world, I would never ask them to do anything, invest in anything in us that I wouldn't invest myself. By the end of this year, and I could prove it to anybody who wants to call me out on the mat, I'll be investing, if not $350,000, almost $400,000 in my own personal education this year. So you're like, you're nuts. And I'm like, well, that's a possibility. I am nuts. Anybody who tattoos themselves that much is probably nuts. But besides being nuts, I'll tell you, if you want to change the planet and you want to grow and you want to be the best in the entire world at what you do, you got to be around the best in the entire world. So let's get started here. Let me give you a couple logistical items that I want you to do. Well, first off, we're going to talk about how to maximize revenue and profit through these summer months. I don't know about you, but the summer months, Disney knows. He's been through a whole lot of summer months with me. He knows, like, it can be crazy, but sometimes at the end, you guys tell me, at the end of a summer month, like our biggest month I had was last June. Disney, was it June or May? We did 3.5 million. What month was it?
June.
Okay, June. We did 3.5 million in June alone. I thought that was badass, but it's only as good as what, everybody? The profit you have in the end. And it's like everybody's moving like a nut, but people forget that we got to squeeze this lemon profit. And I'm going to talk to you about that. And I'm going to talk to you because it's hot outside in most parts of the world. It's summertime in most parts of the world right now. And, you know, it's the busiest time in most parts of the world. Really, it's the busiest time. And people don't really, you know, I'm not one of those guys in industry that says, oh, you're busy because it's summer and stuff. No, you're busy because it's the emotional movement of weather warming people up and getting them moving. That's all it is. Like, people are spending more, not because it's summer and you need air conditioning. They're spending more because they spend more. They feel better. The sun's hitting their face. They're in the bikinis and the bathing suits in the beach. People spend money when they feel better. And if you just think that way, there's probably a little marketing tip in here for you guys, Keith, is, well, maybe the result is, and we're going to talk about how do we capitalize on September, October, November, is make people feel better during that time so that they don't lose this summer feeling. And a lot of people lose that because they don't know how to connect with the customer on this emotional level to let them feel that way. So we'll talk a little more about that. Here's the deal. I want some of you to be honest with me. Who is like digging the summer? You love the hell out of it, not because it's summer, business. And who's just already dreading that shit? Like, the guy called out, the truck broke down, there's not enough people, he quit for 50, oh my God, if I got to tell you how many people quit for like 50 more cents an hour thinking, you know, because everybody wants to throw money at them in the summertime. Tell me how you feel about the summer so I know, because I want to give you everything I can today to give you massive, massive value on this. While you're typing that in, let me share with you, and I'll be grabbing insight from Mike Disney and Master Advisor Denise here. And just so you know, at CEO Warrior, we have nine full-time employees. We have 12 remote full-time employees all over the world that work for us every day of the week to grow this. We're in our 10,000 square foot headquarters that we run CEO Warrior out of. And some of the things that I'm going to teach you is, besides squeezing the lemon, let's find out if you're leaving money on the table, right? And let me give you some strategies to get that money back. Also, I'm going to share a little bit of the backwards secret of, you know, that will have you definitely working less, but creating a stronger and more profitable company. We'll talk about acceleration of your team so that they're doing more jobs without you pissing them off and them saying, I'm not seeing my family and all this stuff. And we'll get some ultra simple list of ways that you can, now I'll use the term selling for you guys, all right? I don't use the word selling, I use the word serving, but to relate to most of you in an industry where there's filled of gurus that are pretty much just teaching you how to sell, you know, and gurus in the world, everybody like from Grant Cardone to everybody else that's just like, sell them, you know, versus allow them to buy value and serve them at the highest level. I'm here with you today asking nothing in return because I want to serve people at the highest level. And then if CEO Warrior is a fit to help somebody gain more wealth, then cool, that's awesome, right? And then what we'll do is we'll find out how to set yourself up to be more successful for the fall and winter, because Disney will tell you, Mike Disney, As soon as we hit June, there was two things: raise the profit and be prepared, and be prepared for September, right? Raise the profit, be prepared for September. That's what we focused on during the summer. Those two things was our life force on that. All right. Here's my disclaimer. I do this to protect you and protect myself. Every area, every state, every part of the world has their own rules and regulations. Okay. Please be sure to perform your own due diligence to make sure everything that you learn from me is allowed in your wherever you live. That includes taxes, codes, rules, state regulations. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a state expert. Do I guarantee any results or outcomes? So building a business of any size is hard work, focus, and needs to be built making a lot of smart decisions. So, and if you don't get your answers from them, just call President Trump and ask him if you're allowed to do that. Now, what I want to do is I want to avoid you from, and most of you know my story, I want to avoid you having to live through what I lived through. I'm not going to go back to my childhood pain of being on my own when I'm 15. I'm talking about growing a business. I don't want you to experience, and I don't know about you guys, I could see a lot of you, raise your hand if you were on a job and you missed a really, or almost missed something really important in your life, like a picnic, the birth of a child. Like I literally almost missed the birth of my son. And this, you'll know why I'm so passionate about this, because when I went home that night and my wife was in the hospital with our son, and I was building one of those, you know, those gliding rocking chairs so that my wife has been the most amazing mom ever out of any mom. You know, she was going to breastfeed. So I'm building, and I remember getting that rocking chair done, everybody, and sitting in it, sitting there and just breaking down, crying, hysterical, because, you know, I had a realization. And tell me, type in if any of you could relate to this. The realization was, holy shit, I was going to be like my dad. Now, my dad is the most amazing, hardworking person I know. He's actually in the hospital fighting heart problems for a long time now. Hopefully he'll come home today or tomorrow. But the fact is, my dad was bred to be a worker. So I was bred to be a worker. So I had the realization, like, guys, I was going to miss part of my children's life, right? And number two, and time's distorted, but it's around the same time where my partner comes in and he was having kids and he's like, I'm out. Not, I thought he meant, I don't know about you guys, when he said he was out, I thought like it was early in the morning. I thought he had like a case of the shits or something, right? Like, can I just call it real? And if you don't like that language, then just pray for me later or something, right? Or make sure there's no small children around. But like, I thought he had a case of the shits. And he's like, no, I'm out. I'm done. I'm out of here, man. I'm burnt out. I can't. We've worked 7 days a week for 6 months straight. He's like, I'm out of Dodge, man. I'm out of here. And I was like, all right, well, if you're out, I'm out, man. Like, I'm not going to do, we started this together. We're out together. And that's when we made the decision, and why I'm so passionate about sharing this stuff with you today, because these were turning points for me, guys. These were turning points. And when we made the turning point, we were under $1 million, okay? 7, 8, 900,000, depending on if we wanted to bowl during the winter or goof off. But we definitely were, and we made a good living. You know, we always had a small crew, but we were dying. We were killing ourselves. Less than 10 years later, we went from under $1 million to 32 million, and 32 million in double-digit profit. I had 200 employees a year ago, and I had 165 trucks. So, and I'll tell you that at that perspective, we were playing safe still. And Mike Disney's on here, so he'll relate to a lot of what I'm saying, but you know, like we were a $60 million company in a $32 million box. Like we were going to do our goal, and write this down, your target, you need a target by the year 2020. Why? I just think when you do these turns of centuries and all this type of stuff, when you do the turn to the year 2020, it's like, I just like those baseline numbers. Our target was 40 million. Based on our projection of what we were doing already, we were going to exceed that minimum by 10 million. So you got to have a target. So how many millions doing what? So I did, thank you for that. So we did 32 million in a company, residential service company, that did plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drain cleaning, one-day bathroom solutions, basement waterproofing. We did over $1 million in indoor air quality, and we did over $1 million of water filtration. All residential service, no commercial work. Okay. Thank you for asking that, so we could be clear. Today, as you guys know, I've wrote 14 books. We're the leading in training and coaching organization in the entire world. And our track record is known for doubling more companies in the world than anybody I know. I'm willing to go into the octagon against any one of the greats just to show them the power of what we're doing, because that's how passionate we are. Let's dig into, if it's okay with you, let's do, take a piece of paper, and I'll draw it here so you can see it real simple. And I want you to just draw four squares like that. Draw 4 squares on a piece of paper. And I'm going to tell you what to put in the top left square, okay? In the top left square, I want you to put things that you are going to start doing, okay? Start doing. That means you're going to hear something that I said, and you're going to go, I'm going to put it in the start doing box, okay? In the top right-hand box, I want you to put stop doing. Stop doing. So through this whole talk I'm going to do, and any of you that saw me talk before, this is mission critical. Things that I'm going to start doing and stop doing. The bottom left box, everybody with me? If you get lost, raise your hand or type in, and I'll pull it back some for you guys. In the bottom left box, I want you to put things that you're going to keep doing. Look, you're going to keep training yourself. You're going to keep learning. You're going to keep being a passionate, good person. You'll find out in my world, just about everybody on here, people that come to our events and stuff, they're the most caring business owners in the entire planet, because I'm a caring business owner. I'm a guy that cares about, worst thing I could hear is a business owner in pain. It bothers me. That's why I give away. And same for you guys. If anybody's on here, you're in so much business pain, type your address in there, hit us up. I'll send you free books. I send out over a couple thousand free books every year to people who are just struggling, because I can, and I want to change the world. And the bottom right box is the biggest, it's the most important box, guys. Write breakthrough. Breakthrough. The bottom right box is the breakthrough. Because Tammy, here's the deal. I could say I'm going to start doing, and I could say I'm going to stop doing and keep doing. But if I don't have a breakthrough on this, if I don't hear that thing that's like, wow, that's amazing, then you just won't do it, because it's the breakthrough that makes us have. Robert, just private message Mike Disney. You hit on the button there, Mike Disney, and give him your address and stuff, and we'll take care of that. It's the breakthrough. Now I got to ask my wife. I don't know where she went. I wanted to ask her a question about, because I don't know the name of this movie. I forgot the name of it. What was the name of the movie last night? Perfect Woman? Can you Google it or something? I'm So Pretty. Oh, I'm So Pretty. Did any of you see that movie? Type in if you saw that movie, I'm So Pretty. And if you didn't, you're probably like, what is this warrior dude talking about? I'm so pretty, right? But I want to tell you something. Pedro, right? This movie I watched with I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son, and I watched it with my 16-year-old daughter. And all of you should watch the movie, because it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. It's a comedy, and it's funny as hell. But the message in there is so profound that I was like, it wasn't a breakthrough for me. It was a reminder breakthrough. And it was the way you look at yourself. So like Joel, yeah, sick every day. Like, the way I started to look at myself was just a beaten down man trying to survive. And the minute I started to see myself as this profit producing machine, and that's what I want you to write down. Like, first, step one is you have to say, I am a profit producing machine. And you have to believe that, because if you can't believe that you are, what do they say? You got to believe it to achieve it. I'm such a believer of that. You have to write every day, I am a profit producing machine. And the more you say it, the more empowered you are. Now, I'm a big manifestation guy for some of you that been in my world. I mean, I wrote down in my manifestation journal a year ago, a year before we sold, I wrote down that we were going to exit the company by the year 2020. Why? Because I knew that I was growing this movement so big that I would never be able to give both places the attention they deserve. And I had 200 employees, and I cared so much about all of them. I saw one of them today was fixing something at my dad's house. And, you know, I knew that I couldn't take care of all of them with the same level of energy and insight that I wanted to deliver. So by the year 2020, I said, you know what, it'll be time to exit that time. It was 1 year to the date that it happened, and it was because people were chasing us. So there's a couple of reasons why some of you sell. Some of you sell because you can't take it no more. You just want to get rid of it, pull off the Band-Aid. And I normally take this for whatever it's worth. I'm normally like, if you suck at growing your business, you're going to be a suckier employee probably. I just know that from real world experience, right? Number two, you sell a business because you built it so big, so profitable. People are opening up their checkbook and they got a lot of money and they're like, I'm going to give you a lot of money. And you're like, yeah, okay, I guess now's the time. And then the last one is you sell and move on because you want to pass it on to a family member. And we're like experts at that now because we've helped so many transitions going on to the children or the grandchildren. We're real experts at that today. So let's make sure we start to program our mind. Does everybody type in a big boom if everybody understands how to use the 4 squares? Because this is critical, guys, in every single meeting, okay? Like, it doesn't matter what we're doing, John. This is what we're going to use. Because at the end of the day, if you just hear things and don't do things or realize things or you don't stop things or start things or have breakthroughs, then you just do what? You just keep repeating yourself and you stay on that damn hamster wheel running. The faster you run, do you ever notice the faster you run, you only get tired, but you don't move forward? All right, so let's dig into here. We're going to talk about find out if you're leaving money on the table and some strategies that can help you immediately generate more. All right, number one, I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to ask Mike Disney and then Denise just to share a couple insights. After I share these 3 things, I'm going to have them just share general insights about these 3 things. Step number 1, everybody write this down. And this is probably a start doing, and then might go in the breakthrough box. Step 1, you must have a profit target. You must have a profit target. Like everybody just puts it as a guess today. They're like, yeah, I mean, like here's the difference between a target and a goal. Who raise your hand if you want to know the difference between a target and a goal. Raise your hand so I can see. Tammy, you're not interested or you're writing. I know, I make it difficult for you guys. I don't shut the hell up, and then I want you to write shit. I get it. I'm complicated, Tammy. I'm complicated, right? My wife says, I'm lucky for her because there ain't no one else in the world that would deal with me. Here's the deal. See, a goal, you're like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and you lose 10. You're like, all right, I didn't hit it, but I did good. Like, a goal is something, you're okay. You accept it if you don't hit it. You see a target, type in, how many of my military or veterans do I have on here? Type in if I have some vets on here. We got any vets on here today? No? Okay. Well, we're thankful for our vets anyway. Okay, vet from the Navy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, and I'm honored to have you on here today. See, in the military, a friend of mine I just was with the other day, he was a ranger. And like, I remember him telling me like, look, when the Army says, or the military says, I'm going to hit that enemy, that's my target. What happens, Dean? What happens? It goes away. There's not like, maybe we'll try to hit it. Like it's optional. No, it's mandatory. That's the target. That's the destination. Gone, right? So number one, why don't people have a target for their profit that they just say, that's it? You see, now here's the thing. No one tells their employees the target profit. They say, well, we want to try to do 10%. And you're lucky if any business owners are even having conversations with their employees about profit. And how could you not, which is probably step number 2 to put on there, your employees must understand profit. For God's sakes, some of us today are making less than 10%. So, I mean, if you made 8% profit, and answer the question, it's not tricky math or anything, but if you made 8%, how much out of every dollar are you keeping? Tell me how much. Type it in there. Who's quick at that? 8% of a dollar. How much is it? 8. Okay, I'm going to curse now. So I just learned that I'll start preparing you for when I curse, Russ. So you guys are all prepared for it. It's 8 fucking cents, Tammy. 8 cents out of a dollar. And we're fighting for that. 8 cents. And our employees think, how much? Now, wait a second. Type this in, everybody. How much profit do your employees think you're making? Tell me. Type it in there. Denise, how much profit? Yeah, Dustin, right? Oh, yeah, we're at 50%, lots of money. Like, you guys are swimming in rivers of cash. It's like, no. But see, it's our fault. It's our fault because we have not shared the education. You keep talking to your people like they're down here. I didn't. I talked to my people as they were up here. I had to educate them on what it means. Let me give you the other 2, and then I'm going to go to Disney, then Denise. Next one, okay? Job costing or business costing is most critical in the summer. It's more critical than the slow time. Most people think that's ass backwards. They're like, wait, well, if I'm slow, I have to make sure I'm making money. No, when you're busy is when most people lose money. It's like $1 in and $1.50 they're throwing away. You must job cost and make sure, and the reason you have to do this, write this word down. Write this word down now, everybody, okay? Course correct. If you don't job cost and you don't have a profit target to track against, how do you course correct? How do you turn the boat? You guys must be able to turn the boat. And some of you are like this. Oh, look what my wife brought me, everybody. Lucky you. I'll mail you one of these, only if you make more profit, okay? And they're gluten-free because I'm gluten-free. Thank you, babe. So now here's the deal. Most people are like this, right? They're driving the boat, their company, and they're like this. They're like, man, it's really bumpy. I guess that looks like a tsunami. It's really bumpy. I'll just keep going forward. Wait a minute. That's pretty stupid. When I could just maybe go to the left, or maybe I should turn around and let the tsunami push me into the shore so I don't have to die, right? So the goal is here, you must have the profit target and you must have the vehicle to look so you can course correct. Last thing, write these 3 things down, please, everybody. Write these 3 things down. And then after this, I want you guys to help me help and serve you better as you have your breakthroughs, Diego. Don't rub your head, brother. Just listen. Don't rub your head. You're okay. I got your back, okay? Paul, as you guys have your breakthroughs, I want you to type it in the chat bar so I know you're hearing things like, yep, Mike, I got it. I'm going to teach my guys about profit. Yep, I got it. I'm going to put a dashboard on the wall. Yes, I got it. We're going to job cost our jobs. We're going to do it once a week, and we're going to course correct and make a change, whatever that is. Might have to be increase efficiency. It might have to be to optimize the process. It might be I have to kick the guy's ass. It might be I have to hold them accountable. It could be a lot of things. Write these 3 down. Plan early. Write it down. Plan early. Plan early means in order to make more profit, I have to plan the day before for the profit tomorrow. I have to plan my jobs. I have to plan. Here's one of the biggest things, and I haven't talked about this. Actually, I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly. So I'm going to share it with you today, Brian. Okay, here's the deal. You have to plan the temperament, the emotion, Randy, that you want your people to have tomorrow. You have to prepare and plan for the attitude you want your people to have tomorrow. See, if you don't plan for your people's emotional state, you'll get there shit ass state because you created it. Like, I plan for the momentum of them. I plan for the energy. I plan for the endurance. That's why people say, and Mike Disney could type in if it's true or not. Listen, when I led 200 employees, well, let's have Mike share it publicly. Okay, Mike, ready? When I led the employees, what is a couple things that without a shadow of a doubt, they knew about me?
Well, obviously, the first thing that everybody at our company knew is that you were fighting for our livelihood. Clearly, you made that abundantly clear. You and Rob were out for our better interest and our ability to earn. That doesn't mean we got to be best friends, but understanding that you take our livelihood just as important as you do your own, that was clear, abundantly clear with our team.
How about any different? What about today?
No different today with our team today, for sure. Absolutely. Denise can speak to that too, for sure.
What about level of energy, endurance? What kind of that?
I couldn't explain that to anybody. The people who have come to Service Business Edge have witnessed it. I mean, your energy level, I mean, if I had to explain that, I wouldn't do it any justice.
Yeah. But how important was it
It's super important. It leads everything. Like when you were going over talking about the temperament and emotion and how you plan for it, I wrote 2 words down. Everything I got from you was energy and urgency. And so that's it. The having the urgency in everything we did and the energy level that we brought to the table for everybody, that's the 2 words I wrote down when you were talking about that. So
yeah, and let me ask you a question. And Denise, to make more profit, does energy and urgency help?
Absolutely. And you bring that every single day. I mean, we know that every day that you're playing full out for our livelihoods, for our clients. We know that every single day when we come in here, and the energy and the urgency is definitely keys.
Yeah, it's key to profit. So write that down right now, guys. You got to plan early, and planning early for your people means plan the energy you're going to bring and plan the urgency that you're going to bring. Now, look, number 2, I want you to write next to that. So 1, we're going to plan early. Number 2, now remember, we're talking about summertime. You got to start early. You got to plan early the day before, and you must start early. Like, I can't figure it out. I talk to companies all the time because you guys got to imagine, like, we're coaching companies publicly for 5 years. I was coaching some of the biggest and largest service companies in the United States and Australia today. 8 years ago, no one knew about me because I was like this hidden ninja secret. I got tired of everybody giving other people credit for me doubling and tripling, taking companies from 2 million to 10 million in a year or 2 years. So we came out publicly the last 5 years to show everybody the power of CEO Warrior. Here's the deal. Summertime, you got to have summer hours. You have to hit that early. You got to get in there. You got to motivate your men, your women. You got to give them energy. You got to set the game that we're going to play today. If you are powerful, they'll be powerful. Now, look, a lot of people tell me, they see, Disney, find out who's got to be muted out there. When you see our events, some people are like, Randy, they're like this guy's, he's not all, this is nuts, right? These guys are like, this is weird. They're like up and they're yelling. And it's like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that girl. And I'm like, yeah, your wife's probably wondering why you're so fucking boring. You know what I mean? Your husband's waiting for you to get a damn pulse finally. Like, people are attracted to energy. Energy helps things move forward faster. People love energy. They look at people that are slow and they're like, oh, I'm not really, They're like, oh, I don't even want to be near that guy. Like, does anybody have any family like that? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, when you're around them, you're just thinking, man, like, do you ever do that kick your wife or husband under the table shit, or just me? Probably just me, right? You're like, no, and then normally I'm a guy, so I'm slow. So I'm like, oh, what was that for? And then you get that look like, are you like that dumb today? That's normally me. Like, I miss the sign of like, that meant get out of Dodge because we can't take the family no more. Look, I call it as I see it. That's why a lot of people, come on this stuff, because look, They're going to get it real, raw, relevant, and right now. And I'd rather give hurtful truths than comforting lies, because a lot of the people today, they want to tell you comforting lies. All right, so we have plan early, start early, and this one, manage early. Let me explain this to you. Manage early is so critical, guys. Let me tell you why manage early is so critical. People come in and they get their people going during the day, and then what they want to do is then they want to go out there and they want to they walk around, they look at social media, they do all this stuff, but then what happens is they lose track and they don't manage early. And then before you know it, the end of the day's there. And I always ask business owners this. So you guys are getting a lot of insight that I would use when we coach. We have companies that we're working with that have built businesses up to 100 million right now, all the way down to guys that are doing $250,000 and growing at lightning speed. I'm like, you're mad at your guy's conversion. What conversation did you have with him? Well, at the end of the day, I told him he has to get better. At the end of the day, what were you doing all day that you waited for the end of the day? You wanted to see if he would just magically improve? Like, you didn't, like, the guy plays the Super Bowl, the coach leaves, he comes back in and he's like, nah, you guys lost the game. Well, all right, let me tell you how bad you suck. It's like, well, where were you during the game, right? Like, you have to manage it early. You can't go sit in the other damn room and pretend your guys are just going to figure it out. And look, I said it before, right, guys? Like this, you know, like people are like, well, my guys, they don't do this. I said, look, here's the deal. Your guys are amazing. You suck. How do I know? Let me tell you something. Let me share this with you. I did an event. Now we have a lot of events that we do, and we have one that's called Road Warrior, where we had 55 guys that plumbing, septic, they do everything, okay? And they came for 3 days here at the CEO Warrior headquarters. And these are my guys. Like, this is me, right? I'm an electrician by trade. Like, so I know how to do electrical work, right? I got my electrical license, my inspector's license. I could pull wires and put in panel boxes like anybody. Well, I say that. Now my hands are damn soft. But I used to be really, really good, right? And, you know, we have 55 of them here. And I'm sitting here going, and out of the 55, I would have hired any of them except maybe 2 people. I was like, I don't know about these 2, but we'll see. I'll tell you what, I wish I still owned Gold Medal, because if I could have took them 55 guys and just sent them out, like, I should have made my program. I should have made the program like, yeah, part of the training is you're going to go run jobs for me in a van. Like, I would have probably did 3 million in a day, because these guys, when you teach them and you show them power and strength, the fact is, if your guys suck, it's because you suck. I mean, let's be real. If you didn't, they would be amazing. They would be incredible. All right, so here's the 3 pieces that you got to have to get us started. You have to plan early, start early, and manage early. So Disney, I'm going to let you give a chance and dig into a little insight or anything you want to share on that section. And then I'm going to let Denise share some things she's thinking about that section of profitability.
Yeah, I mean, so if I go back and I look at my time at Gold Medal and I look at the install department, because look, what's more important this time of year for us than over there, right? We're doing anywhere from 12 to 15 installs a day, so you have to plan. So for us, our plan for the next day was first thing in the morning of the day prior. So we already know what the work is. Now we have to plan it out. So for us, planning early wasn't even an option. It was just something we did. It was a part of our fabric. And so at the end of the day, we were talking about 2 days from now, not the next morning. The next morning by midday should have been set, in place, ready to go. The plays have already been run, and now we're ready to go. All the job is lined up, ready to be stocked on the trucks. So when the boys come back, it's just set the play and go. So for us, planning early was absolutely essential. The install department for us, I mean, look, starting early, I mean, it's 100 degrees out this past week. Wouldn't you want to start at 7 o'clock and not 8 o'clock? I mean, how hard is it to get a guy from an install perspective to buy into, let's limit one of the hottest hours of your day and give you one of the coolest ones, And you're going to be much more efficient if they're prepared and ready to do it during the time, and they understand that it's going to be advantageous for them to not be in a 140-degree attic because they can start early, right? So starting early, not just from getting them rolling and out the door, but everything from an office standpoint, from everything. And then managing. Look, I mean, we're going to be managing at this time of the year. We're preparing for our shoulder month, if you will, getting ready for what's going to happen at the end of August and September. What are we going to be doing? So we're preparing for those conversations. We have our outbound department. We're building what's going to happen in a month or two with them so we can make sure that we're set on those shoulder months. So look, Mike, those three things that you're talking about, planning, starting, and managing early, I mean, they're absolutely essential, certainly for a service industry where weather takes a huge part of a play in the day-to-day stuff. And for us, when I look at HVAC and I look at our install department, it's a perfect picture of those three things coming together.
Yeah, and you know what I like about that for a lot of you guys, like we got hit with Storm Sandy. Storm Sandy was a really good storm for us. Not the bad stuff he did for people, but the revenue for us was just, it added 2-3 million. That's not what you should be impressed about, because I always say this, Keith, I'm like, any idiot, if you can't win in July, you're really bad, because you're just going to get work by a byproduct of just being in existence, right? But when Storm Sandy was gone, our sales never went back down to 3 million. We leveled it there and went up. That's a cool thing. Is one of the things that we learned how to do, everybody, is I never had a down year. I never had a flat year. The minimum amount of extra per year we grew was $1 million right through the economy and everything, because of what we're teaching is we made things demands to do it. Denise, why don't you share some insight?
So the first thing I was thinking about, Mike, as you were talking about planning for your profit, and everybody needs to have that target. I remember I've seen a sign once, I think I've seen it on Facebook and a couple different places, and it says plan or be planned for. And that's why it's so critical that you guys have a plan, every single day. What do you need to achieve in terms of revenue in order to accomplish your profit goals? So you've got to have that plan, and plan for profit. I mean, one of the things that just frustrates me to no end about this industry is that the average contractor out there, Mike, they make what, 2-3%, the average contractor? And you got McDonald's sitting over here selling bad hamburgers, and they're making 20% profitability or more, and their mascot's a clown. So what are they, what are they doing? They're planning for their profit. They have systems and procedures in place. So I think that's critical to it. The other thing I think is inspecting what you expect. So every single day, you've got to be staying on top of what your KPIs are. What's your conversion rate? What's your average ticket? What's your job costing coming in at? You got to inspect the things that you inspect. And the last thing I'll say that came to mind is, a lot of times when we're busy, when we're in the heat of the moment, one of the first things to go out the window is our training meetings. And it's the most important time to be doing it, to make sure everybody's in a line, to make sure everybody's on top of their game, because once a revenue day is gone, that day is gone forever. You can never, ever, ever get it back. So that's why planning ahead is so critical, and making sure people are trained and in the right direction, and tracking what you're expecting out of your people, holding them accountable.
Yeah, that's so critical. And thank you for that, Denise. Now, let me share with you guys a little bit of a backward secret here of, working less and creating a stronger results and profitable company. Now, you heard people talk about processes before, and it's one of the things that actually CEO Warrior is known for, take care, Mr. Z, helping people generate greater results and have a company run itself. Like Rob and I had a company run itself for 5 years. We didn't even have an office in the building, is by having processes. But I want you to write this down, because this is mission critical for you guys. Processes equal profit. Processes equal profit. Now, look, I don't know how many of you read the E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber's Triple E-Myth when he was on, hallucinogens or whatever. But like, everybody read the damn book. No one knew how to apply anything from it. And the goal is, when you have processes equal profit and you put it in place, I want to give you a couple of simple processes that you could write up yourself. One is an accountability process. Now, a lot of you, and be honest with me, let's do a ranking here. 10, you are an accountable master. You are so good. You are like, Mike, I need you to understand why this is important. And you know how to create self-accountability of people where they would never let you down. And 1, you suck at holding people accountable. You're just horrible at it. Rate yourself, everybody. Go ahead. 2, holding people accountable. 6. Yeah, I get it. So let's be fair. Most of us want greater results, but even if you ranked yourself a 6 is a D. A 6 is a failing. It's a D, right? So what you need to do is build a process of accountability. Let me give you an example. A process of accountability is allow me to deliver you information that will make you feel the result of the information. Let me tell you. So let's say my target is 15% profitability. We'll just use the number 15%. And every morning I'm sending you a report and I'm like, Keith, here is your profit indicator for today, right? Here's your profit indicator. And you're at a 9. I don't know. Do I have to say anything to you? Nothing. You know 15's great. That's the target to hit. And you're at a 9. You're like, shit, I better kick it in gear. See, those are self-accountability processes you put in place. It's the same way, like you could do it with meters. You could move the thing up and down the chart, whatever you want. But you have to make sure that there is a way for it to happen so you don't have to be the hammer. Now, part 2 of that I found out, and it's actually the reason I developed, it's the number 1 reason I developed this. I'll show you a picture. Because I figured out now, 5 years later, and hundreds of business owners I've worked with, the whole CEO Word team, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the whole United States, I found out that people are not good leaders. I also found out that you can put a process for leadership in place. And if process equals profit, well, then I have to make sure I figure this out. So what is a leadership process? A leadership process, Denise shared part of it. I have a meeting, and during this meeting, there's a difference. There's a difference between me giving you information and you writing the information. I'll give you the simplest process of accountability, Tammy, that I have ever seen from being able to do in a meeting. It's a red marker and a green marker, and it's a whiteboard. It's the simplest, most beneficial process I ever delivered in my company. And I would just say, Jeff, you're up. Here's your numbers. Go up there. And if it's good, it's green. And if it's bad, it's red. Now, see, when a guy grabs the red marker, his brain starts saying to himself, this is bad. It's a process of leadership that creates accountability. He writes it up there and he's like, this is bad. And he turns around with shame. And I said, hey, listen, don't be shameful. Don't be shameful because it's red. Be shameful if we don't learn and ask a good question, right? So the process of profit is being able, how do you get a better answer, everybody? You ask a better question. You ask a better question. Now, for time's sake, I want to crank through a couple more things with you guys, okay? Let's talk about how to accelerate your team, and then I'm going to bring Denise on and then Mike to give some insight, because these guys were on the ground with the people doing this stuff, right? So how do you accelerate your team to doing more jobs? Number 1, ready? Write it down. You must accelerate yourself. You must accelerate yourself. If you want your team's momentum to pick up, you must pick up momentum. That's why when a lot of people, when they come to Service Business Edge event, and who's come to Service Business Edge event? Type it down if you've ever come to the event. They come in and they're like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? This is nuts. They're yelling and they're jumping, and it's like, I'm not that person. I'm not going to do that. And then by the end of night one, right, Tammy? At the end of night one, everybody's like this, yeah, yeah. And you're like, oh, where were you this morning? Where'd you come from? I know where you came from. You've been sleeping. You've been sleeping inside. And then you're like, boom, look at me. And you're like, you own the fucking place, right? So you must accelerate yourself. And then people will accelerate with you. Your sense of urgency teaches other people sense of urgency, right? The next thing that you have to do, so write some notes on that real quick. And I want you all of you in a second, after you write a note, I want all of you to type in one of your breakthroughs already. This is important for me because if you stay on here and don't have breakthroughs, well, then this was entertainment, and that was a waste of damn time. You didn't make money. You're here for breakthroughs. So type it in, and I'm going to take my Allegra for allergies because the humidity is brutal out here.
You should pop into the warehouse.
Yeah. I'd melt out there. All right, so type in your breakthrough, and then we're going to go to the next acceleration strategy to get them to do more jobs. Step one, you already know, accelerate yourself. Step two, accelerate them. Get them in the morning. Get them in the morning, everybody. Okay? Fist to fist. Because when you fist to fist, everybody, we're making a connection of power. Right? We would do that at some of our Warrior Circle events. Mike Disney probably remembers. We get together, fist to fist, and we make our commitments of the day. This is what we will do. This is how we will do it. We go right around, whatever. I don't care if you have 20 guys. Go real quick. I will crush this. I will demand this. You must create power in your people. They've been waiting for that power. So one, accelerate yourself. Two, accelerate your team with power commitments every morning. And number three, survey. Survey who? Survey your employees. Ask them the question, what do you think I need to do as a leader to accelerate what we need to do? And what we're talking about is accelerating profitability, right? That's really what we're talking about. Jay Abraham, remember I told you I'd bring you some insight. 2.5 years ago or so, I was spending time with Jay Abraham, half a day with him on a consult. He turned around to me and Rob and he said, listen to me. Our profit was, I don't know, 5%, 6%. We were doing maybe 25 million or something. He said, you guys got to pay attention to your profit. You got to change that. You got to be double digit. And I was like, all right, when Jay Abraham says do double digits, you do it. I did not for 1 minute say, well, we had a lot of years at 5 or 6%, or I don't know how to get more profit. Jay Abraham said, you got to fix it. And we went to work. The very next year, double digit profits. I started finding out, like you find out, that a lot of times, guys, and the reason why I ask them in a survey is because I want to get insight from people that I may not see. See, I didn't see that Billy falls asleep at noon. I didn't see that I didn't see a lot of things because one guy in one room could only see so much. So you survey to get that information. But when you know, like if I asked all of you, and I bet a lot of you have an answer right now, I bet a lot of you have an answer of what's keeping you. Well, let's do this. What's keeping you from doubling your profit today? Yeah, type it in. And then Denise, I'm going to come to you. What's keeping you from not improving profit, doubling your profit today? What's keeping you? Tell me what it is. Let's see what you got. More sales. Okay. So conversion. Awesome. Conversion with average. Awesome. Now remember, a lot of times it's not sales that's given us the profit. It's the execution of the jobs or selling at the wrong price, or a lot of these other things. Better labor force. So is it better labor force or having the skill set to take a not so great labor force and being able to make them great? Let me explain something, Keith. We were masters at one thing, taking ordinary people and making them extraordinary. That's the gift of the ultimate leader. Take an ordinary shit guy and within a month or two, make him extraordinary. Why? Because his framework, his computer in his mind is jacked up from his childhood. His friends confuse him. Like, he doesn't know what it's like to step forward and lead. He doesn't have that. You got to have, you know how you take people that suck and make them good? You have a different conversation with them and understand where they're stuck in life. People do not wake up, Keith. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, let me go to a company and I hope I suck today for them. You know what I mean? People don't say that. They're doing the best they can with the skill set they have in the leadership that's helping them. You want better men, change the men. Because I know a lot of people, they tell me, they say, yeah, there's a shortage of people. And then you look how many people they went to. I said, there's not a shortage of people. There's a shortage of good business owners. That's what there's a shortage of fucking lots of people. Lots of people. All right, Denise, share whatever's coming to your mind right now, and then we'll go to Mike, and then we'll give a little more massive value to everybody.
So what comes to mind when I think about accelerating your profit, I think it comes down to having good, it goes back to systems and procedures, and then having meetings on that. So every day, how many of you on here have a morning huddle in the morning? So a short 10, 15-minute huddle with your key people where you're reviewing what happened yesterday, you're looking at what your call volume looks like today, and you're coming up with an action plan based upon what you're seeing there. So if you missed something yesterday, what are you going to course correct today to make up for it? And if you're looking at your calls you have on your board, how are you deciding who's going to be going to what opportunity? I think that daily huddle is key. And then when you have a system and a process, you could say, okay, we're going to deploy our DEFCON management system today. We're going to go into code red because our board isn't filled. So we're going to go into the strategies we need to deploy to make sure we fill that call board, we have the right opportunities on that board. And I think that those two things to me are critical in accelerating your profits.
100%. Disney, what would you like to add to that?
So I'm looking at everybody's posts here, and I'm looking at a couple people talking about labor force, unmotivated team, lack of understanding, lack of employees. And I think, like, if to get to the profit, it all comes to, if you're selling at the right price and you're doing it at the right intervals, it's all about efficiency, which can talk about people, right? And so I think Denise hits it right on the head. Having the right systems, processes, and teaching and coaching and managing every opportunity. And like for us, Mike, we were huge believers. We still are in visual dashboards, showing the efficiency models to the guys, how they perform day in, day out. Super huge. So for me, obviously, systems, processes lead to profit, but the efficiency and the language that you use to improve your people on a daily basis is super, super important.
Yeah, I still believe, guys, if you look at what I built in the 9 pillars, I still think it's, now look, I have a lot of great things I built, but I believe this is legendary. Why? Because if you just look at this, the mindset, the skill set, and the action set, and then if you talk about like what's broken there, and then you look at, because Marianne was saying like it's leadership and management. Which part of leadership and management? Is it mindset part? Is it the skill of the management? Is it they don't take action? Is it clarity? They don't know what to do. Is it alignment? We're not talking to everybody. We're talking to one, right? Is it accountability? We don't have self-accountability measures. Is it training? Am I not training the people like Denise said? Is it coaching? I don't know how to motivate. I only know. Most of you, type in if this is true, your motivation was taught to you by your father. Maybe not physical, but maybe verbal. Step up, kid. What do you think? You're going to sit there and do that? Do the best you can. Come on, that's not the best you have, right? Where was your training? So you brought that forward, right? So there's the training and the coaching. How do you coach people? Like Keith was saying, well, I guess I should tell them, stop saying they suck. Well, it's the law of attraction. They suck. They will suck forever, right? Whatever you say will become true. And then there's manage. Managers are managers that hold the title and look at themselves as managers are the fucking worst people on the planet. Okay, don't freak out and throw firebombs at me. I get fucking hate mail every day from people, right? They send me messages, Mike, you're blah, right? And I'm like, oh, how many free trainings are you doing to help the industry? Delete, right? Here's the deal. I'm only saying that because manage means maintain. I don't want a manager to maintain. If Mike Disney says, I'm a manager, I'm going to maintain, I'm like, maintain, we'll die. You can't maintain. You know what I mean? We're like going in the ocean. Hurricanes coming. Well, let's just maintain our route. It's like, fucking buckle down, baby. We're going for a ride. Like, there's no maintain. I need to start cursing more. Yes, they do say people that curse more are more intelligent and they stay married longer. That's why I'm with my wife over 30 years, everybody. So you should all curse and then go pray for yourselves. All right, let's dig into a couple more things. One, let me get this out because I know some of you will bounce and I still have about 15 more minutes of information I want to deliver. So in case you do leave, some of you know some people that maybe we have our next Service Business Edge event. Disney, if you could throw that in there, the dates and stuff. We have a promotion I never did before. It ends the 8th. It's 25% off, and you could bring someone else from your company with you. We've never done it before. It's closing out the 8th because I think we're already 50% sold out for October. And Jay Abraham's coming back, and we're doing a special day before dinner thing at nighttime and all kinds of cool stuff. And I have my private team, my remote team that's coming in to teach people how I build business while I sleep. And I've never taught it publicly before, and I'm going to do it at the Service Business Edge event. I'm flying in 2 of my critical members of that. Actually, 3 are the 3 pillars that have been building stuff while I'm sleeping for a long time. Then we have Mike McCallum and stuff. So if any of you are interested in attending, there is a promotion for that. It won't come back again, I promise you on that one, because I've never done it before, but I want to help as many people as I can there. All right, let's dig back into this. Why we're talking about culture, I was looking for some pictures to share with you guys and about momentum. Disney, I don't even know if you were here for this, but here's a good picture of culture, okay? There's our 3-day call board in the background. They're holding our sign. I think we were doing
I was there that day.
Yeah, we were doing a pitcher competition for the most motivational pitcher. You can see we had snowflakes hanging into place. There's our install board in the background. And this is what moves the needle for you guys. This is what makes, actually, this is Rob's niece, Natalie, here. And wow, a whole bunch of, pretty much almost everybody here is still there. This is Jason, I think, right? Jason's my sister's fiance. And so here's what motivation, culture, empowerment looks like when you drive them. And Keith, they were not told they suck that morning, brother, because they wouldn't wear this shit. You know what I mean? And look, I only could bust on your ass because I was you, right? Like, I used to not even like my employees. I didn't even like myself at that point, and that just wasn't moving me forward. All right, let's get in here. How do we make let's make what you call more sales. And what I'm going to tell you is I want to give you a little insight. My theory of selling, which I call serving, is one thing this. First off, people aren't buying, they're not giving you money. Write this down. They're purchasing value. That's all people do. They're purchasing value and they're purchasing the result. Now, I don't know who said this. I don't know if it was Dean Jackson, friends with him, or Joe Polish, but Brian Kirch just reminded me of the saying the other day. He said, people are not buying a drill from Home Depot. They're not. What are they buying? A hole. They're buying a hole. They're not buying a drill. They're buying the result of the drill. And the result of the drill is the value. So I want to give you some simple things just to move you forward on helping people buy more value. In the back of my truck, easier?
No.
Oh, okay. One, understand what people really want. I think people are selling people what they think they need, and they're not offering people what they really want. And how do you know what they want? You have to ask them, what do you really want to happen today? I think people are overcomplicating this. And, you know, sometimes it goes back to the simplicity of things. Number two, mission critical is understand what they're not saying, because they're intimidated. They don't understand. Like, you know how many business owners I have been around that won't say things at an event or something because they're like, what if I look stupid? What if everybody else knows this and I don't? You know, like, I don't want to be the dumb one. So they don't say it. So the goal about being able to serve them with value is you have to understand what customers are not saying to you. The next thing, don't sell them crap. Stop. I think some people are delivering product and it's horrible. It's not good. It's not quality. They're rushing it and they say they're really good, but most of the time when I look on the internet, I look at this stuff and I'm like, the guy looks bad. He looks like he smells he looks dirty. He look like people are not, they don't want to buy value from dirty, smelly people that sell crappy product, right? The next thing is, and first off, all of you type in what business you're in. Tell me the business you're in. Type in, what business are you in? No. You're all wrong so far. You're all wrong. You're not in that business. You're only in the business, yes, Dustin said it. You're only in the business of marketing, guys. It's the only business you're in, and it's the thing that most people are most horrible at. And marketing, if I could help you with marketing is this. Marketing is emotionally moving people from where they are to where you want them to go. And it's education. Marketing is education. It's educating a consumer on why they should move forward with making the next decision. And most people that suck, I could always tell you the skill of a company's marketing by asking one question. How well are you at recruiting? And if they tell me, anybody ever says we struggle to find good people, I know they're a bad marketer. They don't know how to market. Because recruiting is what? It's a marketing function. Recruiting is a marketing function, everybody. It's what it is. And that's why most people, I could tell that they're not great at marketing for anything. Marketing is education. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little tip. It's education that you want to teach people how to consume. I look at proofs every day where people are trying to market and shove coupons down people's throat without anything for them to consume. They're like, here's a tune-up. Buy my tune-up. It's like, buy your tune-up? Like, I don't even understand it. Why? Why do I need it? You think it's intuitive to people. Well, I should, like if I ask my mom, should you tune up your furnace? She's like, I don't know I don't know what to do to it. Like, she doesn't know why she needs a guy to come out and check the filter and the coil and the blow. Like, she doesn't know. She doesn't have a checkoff sheet. She has no checkoff sheet. She has no framework. So we keep trying to shove things down people's throats, but there's no framework for them to learn what it means. Does this make sense? Disney, what do you want to add on anything we're covering here right now?
I just think that, like, most people just need to understand the importance of focus, right? Understanding targets, processes, everything that we've talked about. I mean, if you want to maximize profit, you can't take your eye off of anything. And it all starts with you. And so when we talk about the biggest thing that most people that we visit on a day-to-day basis need, it's leadership. And if it starts with you, it will be better in your company. And so, like, we can talk about everything from process to systems to efficiency models to this to that, but everything starts with you, the focus of the company and everything. that trickles off of that is all about you and your leadership and how you present that to your people and your clients.
Yeah, awesome. Denise, what do you want to add to this?
What I'd like to share is, when I was a regional manager for the $55 million worth of revenue here in Florida, I'd get calls all the time from my general managers, and they'd say, I need more marketing because I got to have more calls. And so I'd go into these businesses, and whenever I would go in there and start digging around a little bit, I never once found a company that needed to spend any more money in marketing. What they had was a conversion problem.
Yep.
What they had was not understanding how to present options to people, how to get people to like and trust them. People buy from people they like and trust, and they buy from people that give them options instead of assuming they know what they want. Some of the best salespeople in this industry that I've ever seen, they understand how to build trust and rapport with somebody, and they understand how to go in and give them options and make it affordable to fit into their budget and their lifestyle for themselves and their family.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's talk about getting your guys on board so that they could be more motivated. One, show them the Super Bowl ring, okay? You're telling them, and I'll tell you what I mean. It's weird coming from me, a non-sports guy, because I only watch some UFC, and I don't even watch that consistently. But I know the Super Bowl ring. And the reason why people want to win is they show them the ring. You see the ring? So you got to show your people the Super Bowl ring on what they're going to win. July is here. Set the target for profit. Set the target for revenue. And I'll give you a couple things. One, if you want something cool, they got to see the visual win. Actually, I just thought of this one, but I'm going to give you another one. Rob and I bought this jacked up go-kart. Big knobby wheels, I don't know, 10 or 15 horsepower motor. We slammed it to the concrete wall standing up, and we chained it there. And then we had a contest for 3 months. And every day they looked at that badass go-kart. How bad do you think they wanted that gnarly wheels on that thing with that motor? They fought for that thing so hard because we showed them that was the Super Bowl ring. Let's say for you guys that if we hit, I don't know, you hit your profit and your sales, you put $1,000 cash, okay, $1,000 cash inside a box. Make sure it's a box they can't break open, and strap it to the wall and show them $1,000 worth of cash. So every day, now remember, everybody is motivated differently. So one, show them the ring they can win. Number two, keep score. Write it down. Keep score. Show your guys where they are in the race. Number three, share the score. You must share it with everybody during the day. Keith, as a leader, you send a text or a video to everybody. Hey, everybody, so-and-so is leading the race by 5 points. Everybody else starts what? They start running towards the race, okay? You got to share the score. And then you got to fight for them to win. You have to be so upset they're losing, not because the company's not making money, because they're failing their family. Your family deserves that $1,000. Your kids need that for college. You have to let people know the consequence of failing. You must. It's your duty as a leader to know write this down, 3 letters. Tammy, it's a simple one, this one. 3 letters, I got you covered. Why? I have to know everybody's why, Mike. If I don't know, I know Mike Jackson wanted to put his kids through college in 7 years. I knew Jan wanted to buy a $700,000 house. I knew that Jeff Rinkowski was going to have a baby and needed to get a house. I knew everybody's why. And when they weren't winning, all I had to say was this: Keith, why are you choosing to fail your family? Because one thing I know for sure, guys, is, I'll say this as truthful as it is. Paul and Travis, I was not willing to let my family down anymore, period. Unacceptable behavior for a man to fail his family. Unacceptable. And most men do it because they don't want to get out of the comfort zone and change. They don't want to take risk. They're still doing the shit they were doing when they're 20 years old, plumbing the same way, fixing the HVAC the same way. They're not learning, they're not studying, they're not implementing, they're not taking action, and they're not changing. And I'm going to call it the way I see it, because I'm tired of men failing their fucking families because they want to stay in this weak body of mind. No, you have to know your why, and you have to fight for your life for it. It's do or die, guys. When the minute is do or die, there's no turning back for you guys. There's no, and ladies, I'm just talking to the men now, but same thing for the ladies. It's do or die. I'm with my wife 30 years because I fight for my relationship for 30 years. It's actually over 30 years, since we're 15. I'm 48. Why? Because I fight for it. Same thing for my children. I hope you guys hear the message here, okay? Hear the message, okay? Okay. Next thing. So let's set yourself up for September, and then we'll get off here, because at that point, I'm going to need you to go implement some damn shit. We could only be on here so much. Randy, Jesus Christ, Mike, you were on fire today. Oh, I thought he was calling me Jesus Christ. Well, you know, what did I say? We're all people of God, right? All right, so here's the deal. Memberships equal momentum. Memberships equal momentum. I got to tell you, memberships are the greatest way to serve customers on the planet. Why do you answer this? Put this in the thing. Costco is what kind of program? Type it in. What's Costco? What is Costco? Type it in. What is it? It's a membership what? It's a membership program. BJ's, Sam's Club. Shit, you better hope Home Depot don't figure that shit out. You need to have a membership program in any business. My painter says to me, who was doing painting? Well, how would I do a membership club? You go out and you do little bitty touch-ups twice a year. They buy a membership program. You go in, and part of the membership is you silicone any little things, you put a little bit of paint, you power wash it, you do a little bit of stuff, because you know when you go back there, she's going to be tired of the purple color in the room. You know the kitchen cabinet's going to have to be painted. You know the outside house. And then guess what? After you power wash a little bit, sell them power washing to power wash anything. You're a painter. You got a ladder. Clean the fucking ladder, for God's sakes. There's so much money to be made. It's unreal, and you serve them. You serve them, okay? We offer free annual touch-ups with every job. Cool. Give it to them as part of a membership program for a couple $100 a year now. So memberships equal momentum. Pay attention to membership now. It becomes your inspections later, okay? Next thing, sell work, pre-calendar work today for September. Lock in, Mrs. Jones. What I'd like to do is put you on the schedule for this. Well, I don't want to buy this now. That's okay. Let me put you on the schedule for September. I'll take off 10%. I'll get you on the calendar. We'll do it. Gives you all summer to make the money. Good? Sell the stuff and stack stuff in September now. Stack your PMs, stack your membership tune-ups, your inspections, okay? Offer them a discount on certain things today they wouldn't buy, and let them buy it in that time, okay? This will set the stage for that time. Now, here's the most important thing. You must set the stage for winter. You must let people know winter will come. How do you do that? It's real simple. I'm going to give you two pieces. Then I'm going to share one last thing, and we're going to go, okay? Piece number one, give people a countdown timer. Give them the damn countdown timer. Look, there's 22 days before we got to do your inspection. There's 10 days before we're going to come out and do this. There's 5 days, right? How do you think dentists are so good? They give the up calendar. It's the reverse. It's been over 3 years since you got your teeth, right? It's been over 6 months since you had a tune-up. You're like, the clock's ticking. I would tell the dentist, click the clock in reverse. You got 10 more days to schedule to get your teeth cleaned. Otherwise, you risk plaque buildup and losing your teeth. The reverse countdown timer is mission critical for you guys. Number two, send them things that start to talk about the holidays that are out. Why does Walgreens, Tammy, put Christmas stuff out in September? Because I want you to think about it really early. I'm creating the mindset of momentum. Send your people a postcard in September with Santa Claus on it or a Christmas tree. And so we just wanted to let you know a couple things. One, Christmas or the holidays going to come real fast. Number two, it's going to get cold quick. Number three, ho, 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 I got a gift for you. And I'm going to stack that gift with a bonus for you. Schedule today. We're going to do your membership, whatever it is, whatever you want to offer them, and stack it with 2 bonuses. You guys will crush it. People will be aware of it. You'll move forward. You will make more profit. Now, what I want you guys to do right now, I want all of you to do something for me. I want you to put down and take a minute to do it. Type it in. Your next, we call it NRA. NRA. Write it down. NRA. And then I'm going to tell you what NRA is. NRA is next required action. I want you to type in right now your 3 next required actions. Remember, you come to play in CEO Warrior World. This is boot camp. We're not here to tell you a bunch of stories and you have a good time. No, I'm here for you to take action. Type in right now, Keith, everybody, I know you got more, but I want your next 3 action steps, okay? Denise, what I would like you to do is share while they're typing in their action steps, share a couple things that maybe you just want them to think about. Last summary of profit for this summer to just motivate them to win.
You know, I think one of the things that comes to mind as you were talking, Mike, about starting to think about not only the summer, but then starting to think about the fall and winter is, and a mentor of mine shared this with me a long time ago, so I'll pass it along for what it's worth, is, you know, we just had the 4th of July, and I'm sure all of you were standing there and you're looking at the fireworks going off and, you know, thinking how beautiful they are. Well, when I see fireworks going off in the sky, what I visualize is gas furnaces firing off for the very first time. And I start to think about, how am I going to market? How am I going to position myself? How am I going to be prepared for that? And then in Thanksgiving time, when you open up the oven and that heat rolls out when you're pulling that turkey that smells so good out of the oven, what you should really be thinking about is that hit, and how are you going to be prepared for that? So that's what came to mind, is it's planning ahead, being prepared, having a plan. It all goes back to what we talked about at first, right? Plan or be planned for. And that, I think, is the critical key to profits in your business.
Awesome. Disney, give your last summary here.
You know what? I think Denise said it all, right? Planning is absolutely important. I think not only you planning it and setting targets, but being crystal clear. Clarity, alignment, accountability throughout your team will allow for an easy transition into profit. And if you don't have a membership program, you need to get one.
Yeah, 100%. Last thing I'd like to share with you guys is, if I've delivered massive value, I'd like to just share a little bit. Not only, a lot of you are warriors, you're in our world. I'm honored for you. Some of you might know people that need help. If you feel that we're a fit for them, we're a training and coaching organization. We have what you see here. We run a warrior leadership event. If that's a fit for anybody, let them know to reach out to us. This next one I'm going to share with you is so important to me. I put this one on with my beautiful goddess of a wife. This is our Relationship Warriors event. This is for relationships to come out, couples, husband, wife, partners, whatever it is, and we help them get aligned, get focused. I am so tired. If the divorce rate is 60% out there, 65% in some places of the world, I wonder what it is for business owners today. It's probably even worse than that. And the other one that I wanted to share with you guys, and the reason I'm sharing this is maybe you know somebody that these are a fit for and we could help their lives. This is coming up. I do this one with my son. This is called Teen Warrior. This is for teenagers, so we can help teenagers help themselves set targets, start to understand how powerful they are as people, and help them just get in track with their careers. We send them off to college and you hope the best for them. Some of them are lost, and we bring them in and we run them through powerful exercises. Myself, my 19-year-old son run this. It's really it's a lifetime experience to go through. It's in New Jersey. And then we have a bunch of them that I don't have I just don't have the banners on my thing. We have Road Warrior training, where we train service experts that go out in the field. We have Phone Warrior, where we work on with people who answer the phones. And then we have our Service Business Edge event coming up in October. It'll be our largest one. And then, of course, we have our Warrior Circle program where we work really close with everybody to grow their business. So if CEO Warrior is a fit for anybody out there, please let us know. Or if any of those classes or something that we have coming up interest you, hit us up and we'll have a great conversation with you. The other thing is, please, anybody who needs help with anything in the world, anybody you know, send them to the website. If you haven't been there, there's a Warrior app, there's a magazine, there's my podcast, there's Warrior TV, there's virtual events, there's all kinds of books and stuff. I have so much free information and content on here of massive value that can help you grow your company, help you grow your employees. If there's something you want me to give out there, or if there's a webinar or a training like this you would like us to do, send it to Disney. Put in contact at CEO Warrior. If you want us to do a special training on a certain subject, send it to us. As long as I have time, I will build a kick-ass training for you guys and serve you the very, very best that I can. This is my mission and my movement. Joe Cunningham, Mike's Today message was extremely good. More HVAC companies go broke in the summer. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Joe Cunningham is a badass in the industry. He's been around a really long time. Check him out. He's a great guy doing great stuff, helping this industry. So if we could help anybody, I'm honored to serve you. Just hit us up. Otherwise, that is it. I'll share a song on our way out. Disney, do you know what song I'm going to share?
Nothing. All we do is win.
You know what song I'm going to share.
I'm ready for Keith to jump up and start dancing.
All right, everybody, go crush it. Honored to serve you guys. Big old boom. Take care, Tammy. You guys all rock. We're out.